Good morning. Can I have your boarding pass and passport, please? Here you go. This is the first time I'm flying in style. Sir, that bag is definitely overweight. Overweight? But I only packed the essentials. Essentials? Well, you never know when you need a good cuppa and a round of golf. It will cost you £300 extra. £300? Forget it. I'll wear everything at once. Hello, my name is Harry and welcome to Learn English with British Harry. I am British and I have taught thousands of students. To help you with your learning, I have created a fantastic ebook. It's completely free and you will find a link to download it in my description. This is part 2 of Learn English at the Airport. In part 1, we looked at booking your ticket, luggage, allowance, and navigating the airport. This time, we're going to dive deeper into more useful vocabulary, phrases, and real-life examples to help you feel confident when traveling. Are you ready? Good. Preparing for your trip. We have the vocabulary word travel insurance. This is a type of insurance that covers financial losses and emergencies during your trip. So if you run into a situation where you have an emergency and you need access to financial help, that can cover you and can help you out in these situations. Some example sentences are: travel insurance is essential if you are going abroad for a holiday. So here, essential means very important. Without travel insurance, you might have to pay out of pocket for unexpected cancellations. Here, out of pocket, this phrase means that you have to pay for it yourself. So you have a pocket and you can imagine taking money out of your own pocket to pay for this emergency. I always buy travel insurance before flying because it gives me peace of mind. So if something gives you peace of mind, it lowers your stress and you can feel more happy and you can enjoy your holiday more. If you lose your luggage, travel insurance will reimburse you. To be reimbursed means that they will give something back to you. So if you lose your luggage, they will give you some money back in terms of how much that luggage cost. The travel insurance policy covers medical emergencies, which is very important when abroad. You may be in a situation where you have to go to the hospital, and if you don't have travel insurance, it can be very expensive. So travel insurance can help. Now with travel insurance, you have to check the details. Be very careful, be very meticulous. Meticulous means to check carefully so you understand the details of the insurance. Do you take travel insurance? Let me know in the comments below. Itinerary. Itinerary. An itinerary is a detailed plan or schedule for your trip, including flights, accommodation, and activities. I find it very beneficial to have an itinerary because you know what you are doing and where you are going when you get to the destination. This way you don't really waste time and you can make the most of your holiday. Now sometimes it's nice not to have an itinerary and go with the flow, and it feels more exciting that you are just discovering places. Some example sentences are: could you email me a copy of my itinerary, please? I've printed my itinerary for easy reference during the trip. The itinerary includes all the details of my flight and hotel bookings. The itinerary for the tour covers 3 countries in 5 days. Make sure to check your itinerary for the exact time of your connecting flight. Let me know, do you make an itinerary? And when you are making an itinerary, what is important for you? What details would you include? For example, the details for the hotel some tourist attractions, maybe how much each attraction costs so you know how much money to budget, how much money to take with you. Carry on. This is a small bag or suitcase you take with you on the plane. Another term for carry-on is hand luggage. I packed my carry-on with all the essentials for the flight. Remember, you're allowed one carry-on bag for free. I always pack a spare change of clothes in my carry-on in case my luggage is delayed. The carry-on must fit in the overhead compartment or under the seat. Don't forget to pack your charger in your carry-on. You don't want to be without it mid-flight. What do you pack in your carry-on? In my carry-on bag, I would pack my phone charger, maybe my power bank. So if I'm using my phone and the battery dies, I can keep charging it with my power bank. Maybe a book and some essential snacks. So any kind of entertainment, and maybe a spare set of clothes, which is quite nice. If you're having a very long flight, you can change your t-shirt or you can change your clothes, and it can make you feel more refreshed. At the airport, we have baggage drop-off. This is the area where you hand over your checked luggage to the airline. Some example sentences. Excuse me, where is the baggage drop-off for British Airways? You must check in your luggage at the baggage drop-off before heading to security. I'll meet you near the baggage drop-off after I check my bags. Make sure your luggage is properly labelled before reaching the baggage drop-off. The baggage drop-off was quite busy this morning, so I had to wait for a while. Knowing this word, baggage drop-off, it helps with the location in the airport, so you can tell people where you are or where you are going next. Check-in desk. This is a counter where you confirm your flight details and hand over your luggage. Sometimes you may prefer to check in online. However, some people prefer to go to the airport and speak to a real human being, and then they can check in. Some example sentences are, I arrived early to avoid the queues at the check-in desk. The check-in desk for my flight was at Terminal 3. Don't forget to show your passport at the check-in desk when you arrive. You'll need to go to the check-in desk if you've lost your boarding pass. The check-in desk staff were very friendly and helped me with my seating preference. Do you prefer to check in online or to go to the check-in desk? I think each has its pros and cons. If you're checking in online, it's more convenient, it's quicker. If you want to check in at the desk, it can be more personal. You can actually speak to the other person. Overweight luggage. This is a suitcase that exceeds the airline's weight limit. My bag was overweight, so I had to pay an extra fee. You can avoid extra charges by weighing your luggage before heading to the counter. The airline doesn't allow overweight luggage, so make sure you pack carefully. I had to rearrange my clothes at the check-in desk to avoid the overweight luggage fee. They charged me £30 for my overweight luggage, which was a bit of a surprise. Have you ever gone over your weight limit? Or to ensure that you don't, what do? I like to pack light and to check my luggage before I check it in, because I don't like the feeling of having to panic and open the suitcases and rearrange things. So I like to be planned to make sure my luggage is not overweight. Boarding pass. This is a document that allows you to enter the plane either as a physical ticket or on your phone. You'll need to show your boarding pass at security. Don't forget to keep your boarding pass safe until you're on the plane. The boarding pass for my connecting flight had a different gate. You can download your boarding pass to your phone for convenience. Security check, do's and don'ts. Tray. A tray is a flat container where you place your belongings like phones, keys, during the security scan. They will have a conveyor belt, and you would take a tray and put your valuables inside and then push it on to the conveyor belt, and it will go through the X-ray. Please place your laptop in a separate tray. Take your shoes and place them in the tray. The tray will be scanned along with your belongings. The security officer asked me to put my bag and coat in a tray. I always make sure I don't forget my phone in the tray when I walk through the scanner. This is very important, to not forget your items, because when you go through security, you can be in a rush to quickly grab your items because there are many people behind you, so you can feel pressured. Sometimes you're allowed to pick up the tray, maybe put it on the floor or put it on the table, and you can take more time collecting your valuables and making sure you don't leave anything behind. Metal detector. This is a machine that scans passengers for metallic items. I had to walk through the metal detector twice because I forgot to remove my belt. This has happened to me before, so if you have lots of metal on your belt, it's helpful to take that off and put it in the tray. The metal detector beeped when I walked through, so I had to go for a check. Beep is the sound that it makes. I forgot to empty my pockets and the metal detector went off. The metal detector only works for small metallic objects like keys or coins. If the metal detector goes off, you'll be asked to remove your jacket. Prohibited items. These are objects that are not allowed on the plane, such as sharp objects or large liquids. Security confiscated my scissors because they're a prohibited item. Please ensure none of your belongings are prohibited items before going through security. I accidentally packed a prohibited item, so I had to discard it. Discard means to throw away or leave behind. I made sure to check my toiletries to avoid any prohibited items in my bag. You can find a list of prohibited items on the airline's website. It's a very good idea to go onto the website and to check the prohibited items. This way, it gives you less of a headache and you won't be stopped. Your bag won't be stopped and searched, and you won't be delayed. Boarding the plane. We have gate. A gate. This is the area in the airport where passengers board the plane. So you will look up on the notice board, you will check your flight number, and it will show you the gate number. Our flight is departing from gate 22. Please arrive at the gate at least 30 minutes before departure. The gate was changed at the last minute, but the staff announced it on the monitor. I waited at gate 9 for my flight to be called. They announced the final boarding call for gate 12 over the loudspeaker. It's a good idea to pay attention to the notice board for your gate number. When you find out the gate number, also you can ask members of staff where the gate is. Sometimes you may have to take a train to the gate if it's a very large airport and you don't want to stress reaching your gate. So plan ahead, and this way it can be more enjoyable. Final call. This is the last announcement for passengers to board the plane. This is the final call for passengers on flight 123 to Edinburgh. The final call was made just before the gate closed. Make sure you're at the gate before the final call is announced. I almost missed the final call for my flight to Paris. They made a final call for passengers who hadn't boarded yet. On the plane, cabin crew. Cabin crew are the staff on the plane responsible for passengers' safety and comfort. The cabin crew handed out snacks and drinks during the flight. The cabin crew asked everyone to fasten their seatbelts before takeoff. The cabin crew was very helpful when I needed assistance. I asked the cabin crew for a blanket because I was cold. The cabin crew announced that we'd be landing in 15 minutes. So the cabin crew will give you very important information, Especially when there's turbulence, they would advise you to go back to your seat and fasten your seatbelt. They can bring you drinks and give you any information that you need. Overhead locker. This is the storage space above the seats for hand luggage. Could you help me put my bag in the overhead locker? The overhead locker was full, so I had to store my bag under the seat. I couldn't reach the overhead locker because I'm too short. Make sure your hand luggage fits neatly in the overhead locker. The overhead locker was so full that I had to find space elsewhere. And it's really important to make sure that the overhead locker is closed. Before on a flight, I've witnessed an overhead locker open as the plane was taking off, and this was incredibly stressful. Thankfully, a passenger who was very tall could reach up and close the overhead locker. So for peace of mind, especially if I'm near any overhead lockers, it's nice just to make sure that they are closed because you don't want any bags dropping on your head. Turbulence. This is the irregular air movement that can make the plane shake. The pilot asked us to fasten our seatbelts due to turbulence. We experienced some mild turbulence during the flight, but it wasn't too bad. The captain warned us about heavy turbulence as we approached the mountains. Turbulence is quite common during long-haul flights. The flight crew reassured us that the turbulence would pass quickly. I don't like turbulence. I think chewing gum helps me in those times, or watching a movie helps to take your mind off the turbulence. Landing and arrival. Immigration. This is the process of entering a country by showing your passport and answering questions. I had to queue at immigration for half an hour. The immigration officer asked me about the purpose of my visit. Make sure you have your passport ready when you reach immigration. I showed my visa at immigration when I arrived in the country. Immigration at Heathrow is usually quite fast, but today it took longer. Baggage carousel, or you might hear baggage belt or luggage belt. This is the conveyor belt where passengers collect their luggage. Our suitcases arrived at the wrong baggage carousel. I waited for my bag at the baggage belt for a while. The baggage belt was delayed because of a technical issue. After the flight, I went straight to the baggage carousel to get my luggage. Make sure you check the sign for the correct luggage belt. So it's very important to keep an eye out for your luggage. If you miss your bag, it will have to go all the way around again, and you'll have to wait for a long time. So be ready to pounce and to grab your luggage quickly so you can make your way. Customs declaration. This is a form stating any items you're bringing into the country that need to be declared. I filled out a customs declaration for the wine I brought back from France. Don't forget to declare any food or gifts on the customs declaration form. Customs asked me to show the declaration form at the border. You may be asked to fill out a customs declaration form when entering the country. I had to pay a small duty on the items I declared on my customs form. So here the person may have had to pay an extra charge on the items that they brought into the country. Let me know about your flight experiences. Do you enjoy flying or not flying? I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please click on the like button. If you are new here, click on the subscribe button. Thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.